want to turn your home into a relaxing seaside getaway, you'll need to give your spaces an easy, breezy, laid-back coastal feel.
Hi, my name is Meredith Marlowe with Meredith Marlowe Interiors. And in this home, we created a coastal feel, and it's something you can do anywhere you live. It's really nice to have a space where you can come home and relax and have this light, casual, beachy retreat feel, and I think anyone can accomplish that.
Get ready to unwind as we tour through a home with an elegant coastal vibe on today's SoFlo Home Project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra. In today's home tour, we'll see how this home was transformed into a beautiful beachy retreat. You can give your home the same look. It all begins with selecting a neutral, coastal style color palette. This waterfront home has 3,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, and 3.5 bathrooms. It has been completely renovated with a light, bright, and relaxed feel. Meredith, welcome to SoFlo Home Project.
Hi, Alena. Thanks so much for having me again.
So it's great to have you back with us and another beautiful project to tour. So today we're in East Fort Lauderdale. We're at a beautiful waterfront home. I want to start with a little bit of background on this. Was it a complete renovation of this house?
So yes, when I first came in, it was completely different. The floor plan was different, all the finishes were different, and it was more closed off.
So the reconfiguration of a space can simply make the most impact.
Absolutely, but in this case, there were so many interesting elements that I felt like I really wanted to encourage the client to work with what we had and just reconfigure the interiors so that the spaces were more usable for his lifestyle.
And that's what it really is all about. So right now we are in the main living area. We have beautiful views of the water and a great pool outside. So when you're waterfront, that kind of coastal theme sometimes can weave its way into the design.
Absolutely. We definitely had that in mind. It's a subtle thing. It's not like we tried to weave in little elements, little hints of it throughout, whether it's with the finishes or, fabrics, the woods. Everything works together to give you that little bit of a coastal feel without being right in your face.
Right. So it's about not being like overtly coastal. Like there's just subtle nods to it, like you said, finishes, fabrics, textures.
These kind of woods, the ceiling, really emphasizing the ceiling, which is one of the things that we really worked on. When we came in, it was white, and so you couldn't really see some of the details, but it's super interesting.
Yes, I love it.
And it was
beautiful.
Just like creating that contrast in the wood and the whites. It really gives you that just hint of coastal feeling.
I love that you kind of two-toned it. We often get a lot of questions on like, does it go to one color? Does it go to two? I think it's so house specific and design specific. So here, this really plays to the look.
It just gives you that architectural feature that when you walk in, instead of it just being white and disappearing, it really says, wow, this is something special. This was a reason to renovate as opposed to just tear it down and start from scratch. It has a soul. It has,
definitely.
It has a history. It has a soul. And I think it was important to keep that.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the space. So the finishes, when you're renovating, kind of going for this sort of more relaxed coastal feel. The flooring, very neutral porcelain, not shiny, very matte. These kind of materials kind of play to that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's sort of like the lifestyle, we're trying to build a lifestyle here. And once I got to know my client and realized there is a relaxed feel in this space.
And I think that matte finish is sort of key in that. I mean, you're thinking about living indoor, outdoor, right? Coming in from the pool, maybe from the boat. And, I think it's more forgiving as well. Now, speaking of more relaxed, in this kind of look that you've created for your client, the furnishings, we see a lot of like kind of chunky knit blankets and pillows and ottomans. The rug has texture.
Absolutely. I mean, I think with a coastal feel, you do want to bring in those contrasts. We don't have lots of pops of color. There are little hints here. It's very soft. And I think in this instance, one way that you add interest is bringing in some of these heavy textures and these contrasts, because otherwise everything can look very bland and just oversimplified.
No, I think that's a great tip for viewers, because here there's not a ton ton of pattern, but it's heavy on texture. And now one more thing, I want to talk about the TV wall, because that's another wall I think a lot of homeowners always struggle with, especially when you have higher ceilings, how to maximize it. And gone are the days of the heavy wall units.
Yes.
We've taken that all out and we've replaced it with more open types of configurations.
It was more about, making it airy and open so it wouldn't be too heavy, giving them the storage, but also coming up with woods that have that sort of beachy but warm feel. It has both.
It's awesome. I love this. And again, the styling of the shelves is sort of another big part of that, right? You added a lot of greenery, a lot of interesting shapes and sculptural pieces. Sometimes it's as simple as bringing in interesting elements to kind of round out that feel of the design.
Absolutely.
So Meredith, we've got more to see. I'm excited to turn the corner and check out an amazing feature that is in here, and we're going to show you what that is when we come back. Coming up, we look at ways to maximize square footage with clever use of space on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to tour this beautiful Fort Lauderdale home with interior designer Meredith Marlowe of Meredith Marlowe Interiors. So Meredith, before the break, we toured the gorgeous family room, living room area, but this house was not just furnished, it was a complete renovation.
Yes, it was a large undertaking. In this space, we actually moved the stairs. So right in this area, about where we're standing, there was a huge fireplace. It really broke up.
Wow.
It broke up the main living space.
And I can imagine that was blocking the views, because when you walk in now, you could see right out to the beautiful waterfront and the pool. So expansive and inviting.
It is.
So Meredith, after you moved all of this out, you had a lot more room to work with design-wise.
We did.
And I love what's going on over here. So let's talk about all of this greatness.
When we moved both the entry to the stairs and we got rid of the fireplace that was breaking everything up, it really opened up the opportunity not only to have a large seating area,
right,
but a cute little nook here too, where you could sit and read a book, or it just worked so much better.
It brings such a nice coziness to the space, and I always love an extra opportunity to accessorize.
Absolutely, get those textures in the space,
Of course. Now, the big change is what's behind me here, this wine cellar under the stairs. Was this something that the client specifically wanted, or you had some bonus space and just kind of came up with this idea to bring this in?
It was kind of a combination of both. In our original concepts that we did have an idea for a wine cellar somewhere. When everything got moved, the stairs got moved, the entrance to the stairs, the fireplace, it opened up a lot of different opportunities on how to treat this space. It's a nice feature to have, and I think it's something that worked for his lifestyle.
It is an amazing feature, but that's not the only one. There are a lot of great hidden features that you've carved out since moving the stairs, and we are going to share another one. But before we do that, let's check in with USA Windows and Doors and see what advice they have for us today.
I'm Jennifer with USA Windows and Doors.
And I'm John, and today we're going to take you to our showroom and we're going to show you our impact windows and doors. This window, for example, it's horizontal roller, you slide it. This window is the Multimax line, it brings the screens, it's easy to slide, it's energy efficient.
And one thing about this line for Multimax, it's a more affordable option, but you have the exposed screws here on the inside. It does not bring the screw covers, but it is still affordable and you're still going to get that great protection. So this horizontal roller can come in many options. You can customize the frame, customize the glass.
This is the single hung window, the Multimax line. It's easy to open and operate. It's all aluminum frame, bronze frame.
And once again, you have that security feature with your sweep latches, and it brings two of them.
This window right here, it's a 3-light roller. It's easy to open. It slides towards the middle. The window in the middle is fixed. Those two are moving.
So this window is great if you have a larger opening, and like let's say you are going already with a 2-light roller and you want to have in the front of your house, you want to have that nice wide opening, but you want the window to be functional as well. This window, you can open it from both sides. And if you live in a neighborhood with an HOA, we can make the configuration that is needed. for your homeowners association. This right here is the Prestige casement window. So with this casement window, it's very nice. You open out, you have a full wide opening. And depending on where you live, this is a requirement to meet egress code.
It's hurricane season. If you're ready to upgrade your windows and doors, call USA Windows and Doors today.
Or visit our website at usawindowsanddoors.com.
So Meredith, here we are about halfway up the stairs that was kind of reconfigured. So what a great use of space to create a home office. How did this idea come about?
Well, the client needed a space for the office since we got rid of one in order to add the powder room. And he wanted to be able to see out. So this space opened up and it just made logical sense. It's great because you can see everything. You can see the water views, you can see out over the entire house. And it was just an extension of the landing, really, is what it was. And you can see that we also changed the floor here. We brought the warmth and the wood in this area.
Yes, and I love that there is this warmth. The desk brings that into, and when it comes to adding a home office, often it's hard to say, I want to give up another bedroom to create just an office. So this is a nice way to maintain all of the rooms and then have space for an office.
Absolutely.
Well, this was another great use of space, but we've got more, and we're going to check out more creative uses of space and coastal design tips when we come back. Coming up next, we look at coastal retreat design with a nautical feel on SoFlo Home Project.
SoFlo Home Project is sponsored in part by Eldorado Furniture. Looking to refresh your home? Visit us online at eldoradofurniture.com or a showroom near you.
I would like to remind you all that SoFlo Home Project is moving to a new day and time starting in 3 weeks on Sunday, September 3rd. Throughout college football season, SoFlo Home Project will air Sunday afternoons at 5:30. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to tour this beautiful waterfront home with interior designer Meredith Marlowe of Meredith Marlowe Interiors. So Meredith, before the break, we took a look at the beautiful wine room that you've created, a great office space, and then even the living room previous to that. We now lead into the heart of the home, the beautiful kitchen. Next to the living room, we find the kitchen and dining area. These spaces have a relaxed coastal feel with a nautical edge. We're talking about coastal design, sort of seaside interiors, and this blue on the island paired with the countertop where it just sort of kind of almost emulates sand at the beach, right?
It is.
The materials, the color choice is very important to bring the coastal feel.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not in your face, but there is a subtle nod to the whole design.
I absolutely love this countertop because we talked about earlier that the floor choices, the tile, the wall color, the countertops, very soothing and very neutral. And I think that's often a question we have from viewers, how much color is, or can you go more neutral? This is a great example of going very neutral and just adding that one pop of color on the island in this beautiful blue.
Absolutely. And also the darker handles adds a little contrast, a little jewelry, something for the eye.
So Meredith, this kitchen is not just beautiful, but we talked about design is not just beautiful, it's functional, right?
Absolutely.
And you have some sort of hidden kind of functions within this space.
Yes, we do.
So why don't we reveal one of them?
Yeah, so over here it looks like cabinets, but it is not.
I love this.
It actually opens up. We had to have a way to get to the garage.
So this is your entry.
Exactly, and the laundry, and there's an additional storage space back in here. So this is the entry that the homeowner would use every day, and it really was breaking up this gorgeous kitchen. And so the idea was, how can we disguise it? And a great way is just to panel it and make it look like it's part of the continuation of the cabinetry.
So I want to continue to check out some of these great design details. I mean, the full height backsplash, definitely a nice way to continue your neutral palette.
Yes, and doing that full height really allows you to enjoy the stone in a way that you might not otherwise be able to see it.
Yes, I think sometimes that vertical application really allows you to kind of get all of those tones and colors, and I love that it really kind of brings the floor in too. You talked about this kind of mix of neutrals, this neutral palette, bringing in the coastal feel.
I mean, the floor is the base for the entire
Right.
project. So you have to make sure that everything plays off of your floor.
Definitely sets the stage. And now this kind of open dining kitchen, you know, we talk about the open concept floor plan. What a nice way to really kind of bring this out. And then it looks like over here, a whole nother, you know, little serving area.
Exactly. So it was a decision of whether we should just bring in a buffet or we should do something built in. And in this instance, this is actually a built-in piece that's disguising a few items.
So what is it disguising? Because I love this. It really lives more like a furniture piece.
It's hiding the ice maker, and there's drink coolers in there in the drawers. So it's very, very functional.
So you've got yourself a little bar here that doesn't
Yeah.
look like a bar.
That's
but functions
right.
as one, which
Right.
is great. And I think that the wood element sort of brings, we talked about in this coastal look, you're warming it up with woods. Not necessarily color, but woods and textures.
Absolutely, and I think it's fine to mix the woods. You know,
Great tip.
you know, it's not always about matching. Sometimes those contrasting, you know, woods look more sophisticated in the space.
They play off of one another.
They
and bring
do.
like a richness to the space.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of great woods here, this table, amazing, large, big serving table. What a great dining space.
Yeah, well, that was a request from the client. You know, if we're going to go ahead and increase the space and get a dining room, let's make sure we have enough seating.
Well, it is a beautiful space, but we've got one more stop on our tour, and we're going to bring you with us when we come back. Next, lay back and relax with more seaside getaway design ideas on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing our tour of this beautiful coastal home with Meredith Marlowe of Meredith Marlowe Interiors. So Meredith, the primary bathroom is just such an amazing retreat, and we talk about that spa bath being a big part of, you know, creating coastal elegance in a home. Was this bathroom in this initial space?
It was also in this location, but the layout was completely different. It was super awkward, very choppy, very crowded. There was an old glass block. There was a big, large built-in tub that was taking up a lot of space in the room. So just getting rid of that alone really freed up all this room to have a nice large shower.
And it's nice on a second story. We're on the second story of the home. It's a lot easier to reconfigure plumbing and move things around. Now, I want to talk about coastal elements because that's sort of been our theme. And this bathroom is also very timeless, very elegant, but very relaxed. Now here, you know, you have the shiplap, but you've brought in very spa-like elements too.
We do. And the client really loved this style and made it clear at the beginning.
And yeah, I love the way also you have this sort of like linear recessed niche in the wall with the accent of the mosaic. So like just little pops of some pattern.
Absolutely. It make it a little interesting, break up this big wall of white. And I think also, you know, the warm metals really, you know, it changes the feel of it.
Absolutely. It definitely brings that warmth. And now in the shower, what a great shower. So you take out a big tub, but you gained a large shower and a nice soaking tub.
We did. And you can see we kept some of the ceiling. The ceiling had really interesting pitches in it, but we left the peak in the shower and it really worked out well, I think.
It's great because if you think about in the downstairs when we saw the living room, how that kind of brings those peaks throughout, and it kind of just continues the architectural details throughout the home.
Absolutely, and it makes the space seem larger.
Absolutely, and I love also, we talk about like we're, you know, beachy retreat, but also I love the way the greenery is peeking through the windows up here.
It's kind of like a little tree house.
Yes,
you know?
it's nice. It's a really nice detail. And I will talk a little bit about the vanities. You've also brought in some darker tones here.
We did. We added that contrast.
So do you feel like for coastal, it's not just about necessarily color. We sometimes say people think like blues, and maybe there's a hint of that. With neutrals, you've been able to achieve this really nicely. Is it more about the textures and just interesting materials?
Absolutely. I mean, combining the textures, the materials, it all just comes together into a package. A little bit of the shiplap, all of these things, just touches here and there, pull it together.
So, and this really is, it's timeless, it's elegant, it's coastal, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Alena.
Meredith, this has been so much fun. I love touring this project. I think there's been a ton of design inspiration for our viewers. This is It's just been a great tour, so I want to thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been great being here.
And now let's take a look at what design inspiration we have for you next week on SoFlo Home Project. We have simple design solutions that will help you update your home decor without breaking the bank. Learn how to give great design impact to any room in your home. And now let's check in with our friend Hunter Frankie from SoFlo Health and see what fun things he's got going on tomorrow. Hunter, what's up?
Hey there, Alena. This week on SoFlo Health, I'm at the makeshift news desk once again to bring you stories about how to squat if you're tall, a classic diner with healthy breakfast options, and a state-of-the-art exhibit for the kids. All that and more is tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on the one and only Local 10 for SoFlo Health.
Thanks, Hunter. That sounds great. We'll definitely be watching. And to our viewers, we thank you for joining us this week, and we hope to see you again next week for another all-new episode of SoFlo Home Project right here on Local 10. And remember, there's no place like SoFlo Home. If you missed any part of this episode, or if you're looking for more design inspiration, make sure to check out all episodes online at SoFloShows.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram.